Maybe it's the CPU setup. Maybe it's a proof of useful work setup. Maybe you bust out the risers, put an extension on there, and make a GPU slash CPU rig out of it. My jam on this is it gives me options. Yo, what's up, Force? Now that I got my strategy going, I need to do some cleanup in here. It is a spaghetti mess. I need to get the rest of these rigs on frame like these. So as I'm going through all this, I thought, well, why not just make a little bit of video and show exactly what I got working here. Uh-oh, we got a little visitor. Hey, maybe you can help me out today. You want to help still?
Yeah!
What do you know about Bitcoin?
Never sell your Bitcoin. It can become expensive.
So I'm working on putting these on a rack. I need to put all of them on a rack similar to this. So let's finish this one up real quick. We'll talk about it and then we'll start this. I'll show you how I end up mounting 2 full ATX size motherboards onto this one 8 GPU rack.
Well, I just wanted to come say hi to you and like everyone else.
Okay, baby.
Right. And bye, other people.
That was unexpected. Alright, so let's knock this one out real quick. These are both Ryzen 3950Xs and X570 Chi motherboards. Now, one thing to note with the Ryzen AM4 CPUs is that they really only have 24 PCIe lanes total. And that matters because no matter how many cores and threads your CPU has, you only have so many PCIe lanes available. The heart of any system is going to be the motherboard, and it's the chipset. And that chipset is designated as X570, B550, or some of the old ones, X470s and B450s. So as where your CPU is the big thinker, the motherboard capability determines how much hardware can be used all at once. Even if the CPU could run more hardware, if you don't have the motherboard and the proper chipset that will allow all the PCIe lanes to work, it's going to be a bottleneck no matter what CPU you have. So that's why you hear people talking about, like lately, Xeon processors and stuff. And it's not necessarily the processor, but it's the chipset on the motherboard that allows the use of like so many of those threads and cores for the processor. For me, kind of my whole strategy here, as someone that's starting off with not having a lot of hardware right now, my mindset is we're in a bear market. How can I get the hardware that can set me up for profits when we get into the bull market? This Ryzen's platform, we might be limited on PCIe lanes here with this X570 chipset. It gives me the most options right now because it could be a great CPU miner just all on its own. Each one of these could be a proof of work miner. These would be great for having 2 really nice GPUs to go along with this. I don't really want like one big server with 8 GPUs in it. I would rather have 10 proof of work units if that's what we're going to be calling it, because we don't really know what proof of work might bring us, how successful it'll be or whatever, you know. But not only that, you know, these could also be GPU miners. These could be bases for GPU miners. It doesn't have a lot of slots, but as a matter of fact, I have one of these splitters right here. This splits the PCIe into 4 right here. Boom, we now have an 8x GPU setup. And from what I can tell, even when I have GPUs plugged in all of these, it's really not hurting my CPU mining profitability very much at all. So if I have to turn each one of all my CPU mining rigs into GPUs, like if that's the best situation for me, I'm also going to be CPU mining at the same time I'm running all those GPUs. And so no matter what, if it's going to be just a CPU miner, a proof of useful work rig, or I split them all up and make them CPU slash GPU rigs, that's going to give me future options. So let's get this plugged up here. I'm going to put a 24-pin cable on it, 8-pin CPU cable on it. Without any GPUs on here, that's going to be it. Super clean. It's going to look awesome. So let's tidy these things up in the back. Sometimes they're so stiff and they just want to fight against you. You want this stuff to be relatively loose too. Don't pull and leverage down on these. Give them room to curve and bend. Alright, last but not least, you gotta cut these tabs off. The small details matter, and I'm about to show you. Bam, baby. Oh my God, killing the wiring game. Look at that. Tell me how beautiful and clean that is right there. This is ready to plug in, and boom, these CPU miners are hashing. If you want to put some GPUs on them, put some PCIe cables in, hook up your GPUs and go, but that's it. It don't get no cleaner than that. It's beautiful. Let's hook this up real quick, all right? How beautiful is that? I'm really eager to get all this stuff cleaned up because when I walk into my shop, I want to be like, ah! I'm ready to get this fixed up nicely. And that's what we're doing here. So let's get to this one right here and let's talk about it.